Hello everybody, my name's James, welcome to the Planet FPL double game week 29 deadline stream, and it's live, and over the next 54 minutes or so I'll be trying to get through as many of your FPL dilemmas as possible ahead of the 11 AM British summertime game week 29 deadline. Before I get into the questions, let me take you through the graphics on stream because that will probably answer many of your questions. Firstly, my team shouldn't be changing from here until deadline. I've taken a -4 selling Gabriel and Saka. Oh no! Yes, I know what can happen. And I've bought Luke Shaw and Bruno Fernandes. I'm captain Marcus Rashford and vicing Karu Mitoma. I line up this week with bench boost active Kepa, Trippier, Shaw, Chilwell, Fernandes, Maddison, McAllister, captain Rashford, Mitoma, Ivan Toney, Ollie Watkins, bench boost of Raya, Iheanacho, Botman, Henry. In theory, 30 games. It won't be. It'll be about... I don't think I'll be a million miles away from sort of 27-ish. Probably realistically, probably around 25, I'm going to guess. We always think, these guys will definitely start twice. Listen, shit happens in a week. Tony could get booked, get an injury or two. Suddenly it's like, it's not doublers, is it? So... that's how I line up. Captaincy preference. I've gone with Rashford. I'm not concerned about the yellow flag at all, to be totally honest. If that bites me on the arse, then so be it. I'd want him more for the second game than the first game anyway, so even if he was a sub at Newcastle, I wouldn't stress. Although if I knew that, I would captain Mitoma, would be the preference of what I've got. The very best choice for me, other than Marcus Rashford this week, would be Solly March, and that's just purely on the fact that he's not done the travelling this week. There's no other major science to that. Would not be captain Fernandes over Rashford personally. So the top 10 captaincy picks in order of preference: Rashford, March, Mitoma, Fernandes, McAllister, Maddison, Salah, Havertz, Isak and Danny Ings if you want to be really fruity and punty. On Erling Haaland, obviously FPL Focal tweeted last night that he'd had word from a source that he trusted that Haaland was not going to be risked. My take on that is that I don't believe that Oscar would have tweeted that unless he was extremely confident that was the case. He's not a wind-up merchant. He's a very good content creator. I don't think there's any reason that he would have done that unless he truly believed that was what was going to happen. And listen, people go to bed. Haaland might have woke up this morning and gone, boss, I'm raging to play. And Guardiola might well put him on the bench, for example. But I think at the moment we'd have to think that he's not going to start as it stands unless something happened where Alvarez got injured this morning, for example. I don't know. With a 12:30 kickoff, I don't suppose City would have done too much work this morning. All my correct score predictions for all 16 games this game week are on screen. Just to give you an overview of that, I'm predicting 4 goals for Manchester United, 4 goals for Brighton, 3 for Arsenal. Yes, I'm not sitting here going, I don't think Arsenal are going to do well. Yeah, I do. 3 for Newcastle as well, 3 for West Ham. So 3 for Liverpool. It's all quite close, I think, between the teams that double. Right at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the fixture ticker for all 20 teams for the next 5 game weeks. Fixtures highlighted in blue are obviously for this week. They are double game week fixtures. And above that, this bit that people like to ignore, but probably don't need too much this week because it seems like most of you are bench boosting, is the benching dilemmas screen, where there's 2 players put together, and if you have to make the choice of over who to start, the player with a tick is the preference. I'll take you through it. Page 1, Watkins over Chilwell, Chilwell over Benrahma, Benrahma over Saka, Saka over Ferguson. So yes, I still play him over many doublers this week, Saka. Ferguson over Kane, Kane over Tony, Tony over Johnson, Johnson over Buendia. I do think Johnson will probably start for Forest. Buendia over Zuma, Zuma over Iheanacho, Iheanacho over Billing, Billing over Castagne. I've probably Iheanacho expected minutes this week, probably 60 to 80, roughly, is what I've just responded to someone on Twitter. Castagne over Botman on page 4, Botman over Mings, Mings over me over Zinchenko. And for the goalkeepers, in case you've decided to have bought your bench boost and have to, still over Kepa, Kepa over Raya, Raya over Ramsdale, Ramsdale over Danny Ward. I think we have to think, as it stands, that Daniel Weaverson is going to start at least the first game. If you're in a position where you've got, say, Ward, Matty Cash and Haaland as an example, and you were intending to bench boost this week, you're probably in the circumstance where you're looking to abort. And that's absolutely okay. I've literally just had a conversation with my wife where I've told her abort, don't do it. I've told her not to do it. So don't feel pressured that everybody else is doing it. I've just had a quick look at our team and said, we're going to rework this and we're going to try and bench boost for you in game week 34. Don't do it for the sake of it. If it's fallen apart and you've got too many injuries, too many doubts, concerns, don't feel you have to do it. Yes, you'll probably be behind this week. But if it's better for you to wait, don't feel the pressure of everybody else and feel you've got to do it. As ever, guys, play it your way. Right, let's get into the questions. Let's see who's first. I'm going to try and smash through these today, because for those advanced tier patrons who were on my team news stream this morning, no, I wasn't coking up. I'm using that autocorrect as an April Fool's plug, and nothing I say on here, by the way, is going to be an April Fool's joke unless I clarify it. Let me be very, very clear on that. I'm not into taking the piss and fucking up people's teams. I'm here to try and help. Right, let's do the questions. JP says, Henry to Shaw or Zuma? Without context, my friend, I've got to say Shaw over this 1 week. Zuma might be better, but a context of what's to come, Luke Shaw. JP says, how many hits is too much in your opinion? Depends what you're trying to do, right? If you are going to take massive hits, this is the sort of week to do it. It depends what state your team is. I think anything above -8, I'm not so keen on people still bench boosting. -8 is okay. That's very much, I think, what I was considering. Once you go into -12 territory, you really need players to really hit off for you to make back the hits on a 1 game week, even if you're going doublers over singlers. Because, for example, if Bukayo Saka gets an 18-pointer, I'm not an idiot. Bruno Fernandes is not going to match that, I don't think. Ben Edinson says, morning, mate. Good morning, Ben. Hope you're well. JP says, thoughts on Kane to... he's lost it. Thoughts on Kane to Havertz, Isak, Ings. What's your preference? I think of the forwards, I think Havertz is probably the best for this week. But if I was buying, look at them, 8, 9, 10 on the captaincy. If I was buying right now, I'd probably still go Isak because of concerns of Chelsea rotation in game week 31, then 33, 34. If I had a clear route to say I was going to go, say, Havertz to Darwin Núñez in 31, then I'd maybe just have a little preference for Havertz, for example. Sean says, morning, James. Hope you're well and Harry's feeling better. He's doing great, by the way. Thank you so much. So many people messaged and sent well wishes for Harry. For those who are unaware, he's got chicken pox, but I think he's over the worst. He's doing really, really well. Thank you so much. Sean says, morning, James. Hope you're well and Harry's feeling better. I'm 350k currently and fancy a punt captain. Not feeling Rashford. Currently got it on Solly March. Thoughts? Exactly that, mate. As I said, like if it wasn't Rashford for you, and that Rashford's EO is going to be massive. So I've taken the simple decision on it this week. I think Solly March would be the next best this week because he's the Brighton attacking player who hasn't done the travelling. And that's not to say you should be concerned so much about Mitoma and McAllister. That's honestly the only logic I can give you to go March. I ain't looking at stats and stuff. I've looked at nothing in terms of stats and comparing those 3 players. So if you want to do that, please do your own research on it. But yeah, I'm absolutely fine with captain Solly March this week. AC7 says extra -4 to get Brentford defender out for Chilwell. Yeah, I don't mind that because of the upside. I haven't predicted a clean sheet for Chelsea this week, but I think the upside of Ben Chilwell would be on a lot of set pieces and stuff as well. Liverpool aren't particularly great at defending set pieces, for example. Yes, that's a rare one where I'd probably say, yes, go for it. Moito says, have a good weekend, James. You too, my friend. Dragon Josiowski says, hey, James, bringing Shaw or Chilwell. 3 hit, 32 planned. Holding the player all season, barring injuries. Cheers. Then Luke Shaw, mate. Luke Shaw will be more useful for you. Doubles 34 and 37. Good fixtures next couple of weeks. Perhaps a rotation concern further down the line, possibly subject to United's Europa progress. But I think Shaw, if Chelsea continue to progress in the Champions League, he's a big risk, right? So Luke Shaw, mate. Colin Con says Henry to Chilwell -4, puts a kind of hands up emoji. I'm going to say yes. Best of luck all on Bench Boost. Keep up the great content. Smash a like, everyone. Yeah, sure. Smash a like, everyone. What percentage of likes we on? Oh my goodness, that's bad, isn't it? About 15% of you have pressed the thumb. It's a free stream. I'm not charging anyone anything. There's no super chat or anything. Just press the like. Does a little bit for Planet FPL. Rose Mendes, so you're not captain Fernandes. He's on Penja. Cheers. Thanks for the info. JP says, Bruno in for Arsenal midfielder worth -4. I've done it, mate. I says, morning, James. Loved the content the past 2 weeks. What about before that, mate? Only joking. Says, if you could play one song on FPL Raptors' bald head by slapping it, what song would it be and why? All the best for double Gameweek 29. Barbie girl. Luke Stevenson says, morning James, I hope you have I love Raptor. Morning James, I hope you have a good week and your kid is still on the mend. He's doing great. Do you think Pinnock to Chilwell is worth the -4? Guys, if you've got questions in Chilwell for Brentford defender, because I've read about 3 or 4 already, just delete them. The answer is yes. Ben Edinson says, on bench boost 29, but have Ward, thinking Everson or Still seems better, but if I get stuck, he blocks me from a Stupinan, who I want later on. It's only until 32, because I'm thinking of bringing in Gator. Okay, that's interesting. All right, bit of an out there one. Why not consider just going him now? Not the best choice, but it will give you another transfer for something else. If you want a keeper, so what we're saying, 29, 30, 31, how much do you need it to play? That's the way you've asked the question. I don't know what your other keeper is, right? If you've got Ward, like a Kepa, how much do you need it? I don't think you can go to West Ham's at the moment. If it's just this week, I think Navas and Neto are nice alternatives who will start. Yeah, I'm concerned about Steele for similar reasons as to what you are. 30 to 31. I mean, De Gea is the best, but you might not be able to get it, or maybe that's your other keeper. I don't know. Probably from the ones I mentioned. Meslier, maybe, if you need it to play his home games in 30 and 31. That's not terrible. But a bit out there. I would always, if I'm bench boosting, would want a keeper. 2 keepers have got doubles, absolutely. But if your intention truly is to go to Gator because Palace have a really good run in, then maybe consider doing that, and it might give you an extra doubler in 34. Think of it that way, for example. MG Becky says, good morning, James. I have 3 Brighton, goalkeeper and defender and midfielder. So I was considering a -4 with Stupinan and Odegaard out for Shaw and Mitoma. I can do Zinchenko and Odegaard out for Shaw and Bruno. Which do you prefer? Prefer to Shaw and Bruno, honestly. I'm going into this week with 2 Brighton. That's not great. I'd love to have a defensive one. My take is on the moment that I think people like Ferguson and Steele are great options, and I'd just rather have a little bit more thinking space on it. So I actually prefer the Shaw and Bruno Fernandes option. LNNG says, -12 to upgrade Ferguson, but would need to sell Haaland. Wouldn't bother upgrading Ferguson. Haaland, if you're bench boosting, you're probably a player short as it stands currently. Stevie, and for those just joining in, listen back to what I said at the start as the advice. Stevie J10 says, hi James, risky I know, but would you do Saka to Salah or McAllister / March for -4, or wait? Free hit 32, McAllister March enables Haaland next week, but I want Salah longer term and can get Haaland next week for another -4. Yeah, I'd do it, but then I'm a stickler for players who've got doubles, right? But I'd do it. Preference at this moment in time would be the Brighton player. Ricky Saunders, my Tottenham correspondent, in. It's been another fun week, hasn't it, Ricky? Says, morning, mate. How do you rate Rashford's chance of starting this weekend? Extremely high. Extremely high. 90 to 95%, mate. Don't think you could say more than that, because you'd have to get through training Friday, training today, training tomorrow morning. So I couldn't say like 100%, but you couldn't for any United player. Same would apply to Fernandes. 90 to 95, I think. Bakaya Sequoid says, can you do Ian Asho to Danny Ings now? Can I? Yeah, I'm in fucking 10 million in the bank, mate. But I'm not going to. And part of the reason, explain this on a bit of the content this week, is Ian Asho's fixture next week. That if I sell him and I get it wrong and he gets back in the team and I've got Bournemouth at home next week, I want that. I think there's every chance Ian Asho starts neither, but I haven't deemed that Havertz, Ings or Watkins is I've already got Watkins, sorry. Havertz, Ings or Isak is worth that -4. That's what I've decided. So he stays for the moment. Adam says, morning James, thoughts on best goalkeeper replacement for Sanchez? Already have Kepa. It's probably going to go back to all those names I just listed for someone else's question. De Gea, if you can get there, probably the best shout. Ross Watson says, morning James, bench boost this week. Who would you rather put in for free? Zuma, Castagno, Shaw. Already have De Gea. Cheers. That's interesting, because you probably don't want to block yourself Fernandes and Rashford further down the line. But if you're comfortable in your plan going forward that you don't want Fernandes, then the answer is sure. If you think that you might or do want that, I'd probably say go and get it now. But then it would be Zuma over Castagno. Florentine P says, hi James, should I keep Haaland on wildcard? No. No would be my take. But there's things that need to be considered, right? One, he's obviously very close for this weekend. So is there every chance he plays next weekend? Yes, possibly. If we think he's available, he's probably the best captaincy next week. Part of my plan is go Tony to Haaland next week, for example, which might well become even. It might sound weird because they're playing Arsenal, but if Haaland was ruled out, it'd probably Darwin Núñez actually, despite the fact they're playing Arsenal, if Tony was suspended. Otherwise, if he gets through the week, then I might just sit and leave it. But I might want to sell Iheanacho as well. So let's see how we go over the next few days before that decision is made. Again, I won't be making any early transfers this week, that's for sure. I don't know what you bought at, right? I took the decision to sell Haaland back in Gameweek 26. Now you're 1 week away from feeling like everyone wants him back. How do you feel? If you're wildcarding, you're not bench boosting, are you? Do you know what? If you're wildcarding, you're obviously not bench boosting. I'd keep him. Yeah. Because I think the best setup this week is 3-5-2 in any case. So it's every chance to say, yeah, I'd keep him and have him ready. Might be the right play for you. Atul Balaji says, would you do Trent for Gabriel -4? Possibly, yes. Again, similar kind of to the Chilwell with the upside. What about Isak for Kane for another -4? I'm not so keen on that. The thing is as well, and I tried to explain this on the Team News stream we just did. Let's say Haaland's out for a few weeks. Who do you want to captain in Game Week 31? Now, if Haaland's not available, then people have got money spare as well. Harry Kane's got Bournemouth at home. And you can look at now, right, there's an extra fixture for Isak now, but if you want to captain Kane in 31, you've got him effective twice in 31. Therefore, the extra fixture is null. And if you looked across the 3 weeks, then I think you'll think Kane's got the better of it than Isak. So the answer would be no. Free transfer, yes. -4, probably no. Atul also says, should I do either one or both, or just do nothing and play a bench boost of Raya, Kane, Saka, Gabriel? I'd been Gabriel. That's what I'd do on that, I think. ASMR shitposter says, hey James, what order would you put Trippier, Schär, Veltman and Chilwell in? I'm looking to start 3 out of the 4. Thanks and have a great day. So what the question is actually, which one of those would I bench? Veltman, purely because he's the least likely to play twice from that. Actually, Tariq Lamptey's borderline for tomorrow. They could always potentially use Gross at right back, which he's done in the past as well, De Zerbi. So Veltman, reluctantly, but that. Miena Sidom says, hey James, would you take -4 Henry to Shaw or Zinchenko to Shaw? I have Raya and Ward and think Brentford won't have a clean sheet. Neither do I, but I'd move Zinchenko. Ben Eddington says, I think I've heard you say you wouldn't take a -4 Iheanacho to Isak. Just curious, why not? I'll probably just explain that, Ben. Chris Wood says, good morning, James. Rashford or Matona for captain and why? Rashford, I probably don't need to take the chance on the EO. That's it. And I don't actually think Mitoma's the best Brighton option this week. Rami says, morning, James. Zuma a good option. We'll have exact money in the bank for Salah in 31 if I do Haaland coming in next week too. Yeah, he is. And I think Aguerd's injury, well, I say injury, he's got a grumbly hip, according to David Moyes, which we were having a laugh about on the Patreon stream this morning. I don't know what that means, but Zuma's cheaper in any case. It'd probably be the way to go. So yeah, he's perfectly reasonable. Rishi Segal says, hi James, not bench boosting this game because my team is not set up for it. Chasing ranks and what's your thoughts on Haaland and Odegaard to Isak and Bowen? Reluctant on Fernandes because I don't have free hit. Thanks. Right, I see. So 32 would be a headache for you. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I mean, they both play in 32. Yeah, reasonable. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd probably go Ben Rama over Bowen. He's on the pens, we think. And I think he'll probably regularly play at the moment. It's arguably worth the same. What can you do with the rest of that money? If it was me in that situation, I'd arguably go Ben Rama. You also, therefore, at a similar value to Brighton mids if you want to move that sideways later on, for example. Give you a bit of thinking space. I'd probably go Ben Rama, but other than that, yeah, it's fine. Prabal Singh says, hello, James. Should I do Zinchenko to Shaw for a -8? It's not a -8, is it? It's -4. I'm free hitting in 32. Worried about Man United defence because of Casemiro not playing, hence the dilemma doing the -8. Yeah, look, I've made a very similar move, so I have to say yes. Bloomer Caldera says, James. Yeah, hi, Bloomer. Uros Milicevic says, good morning, James. Would you do Ward to De Gea or Gabriel to Shaw? If Shaw, who would you choose as a Ward replacement for bench boost? Thanks and good luck this game week. I would make the Ward to De Gea move, personally. Miena says, or change Ward to David De Gea -4 and move on. Thanks, smash the like, people. It is Miena. I can't remember what you said, but I'm going to say yes to that, mate. Daniel Williamson says, Saka and Haaland to Bruno and Darwin Núñez -8. Yes. Richard Marshall says, morning, James. Not really a fan of Bruno, so thoughts on Saka and Salah for -4. Yes. Kenneth Fast says, want Odegaard, Kane out for Everson. Guys, the majority of these I'm going to say yes to the doublers, right? That's not to say you shouldn't keep your Arsenal assets. Everyone's different. I put it in Arsenal win 3-1, right? I think Saka returns, probably 7 or 8 points this week, right? So is my expectation Bruno Fernandes? Oh yeah, right. Bruno's getting 12 or 13 this week. You know what? Possibly not. But over the next few weeks or so and leading towards the rest of the season, I know I'm going to want to get him in. I've made the decision to do that. You might have different chip strategy ideas. For all I know, for example, you might be wildcarding in 30. If you're wildcarding in 30, I wouldn't take the hit for it, for example, because it's just 1 week. So some of these are difficult to answer, but I'm most often or not going to say yes, get the doubler at the moment in terms of selling Arsenal players. Richard Marshall says, morning, James. Not really a fan of Bruno. Support Saka, Salah -4. Yes. Kenneth Vaz. Ward, Odegaard, Kane out for Everson, Fernandes and Ings. Bench boosting in free hit 32. Bench boosting. Right, you're bench boosting now. Free hit 32. Contemplating another -4 for Shaw for Zinchenko. Tough choices. Again, the answer is yes. I'm not keen on getting Everson. What we have to read from Brendan Rodgers' comments after the draw with Brentford was, I think we can probably read from that Everson probably does start again this week. Today. Tuesday might be a different answer. So I wouldn't go Ward to Everson at the moment. I'd be looking at alternatives to that, personally. Otherwise, fine. Bloomer says, remove Iheanacho, bro. He is ill. And bring in Danny Ings and Captain Ings, please. Okay, Bloomer. You see the hashtag in the pin tweet, or the pin tweet, the pin comment. It's called Play It Your Way, mate, and I'm playing it my way. ASMR says also, what defenders would you favour for 29, Newcastle or Brighton? Brighton would be the preference on that. Tag says, morning, James. Already in -4, but should do short for Zinchenko. Might say, yeah, this is getting a bit boring, guys. Dropical says, Ferguson has third Brighton to free up a midfield slot, bench boost this game week. I think Ferguson's still a great option. You have to be conscious that you may block yourself. If suddenly De Zerbi thinks, I want Welbeck as more of a target man going forward, particularly in some of the more difficult fixtures coming up, then what? Now, of course, you can bench Ferguson in those. It's not so much of a problem, but you might get nervous about it. That's the only thing I don't like about Ferguson still, is the situation could change. At the moment, right in front of our face, I think it's absolutely fine. Half hour to deadline, guys. Just going to have a little check through, see if we've got any potential updated City-Liverpool information, as that's the early kickoff. I'm going to respond to this message. 4.5. He's written 5, autocorrect. 4.5. Look at me, still trying to help people. Ralph 3. Hi, James. Hang on, not that one. I'll come on to you. FPL Finding Glory. Actually, Michael Crawford says, good morning, James. Good luck. You too, Michael. FPL Finding Glory. Hey, James. Great content as usual this week. Thanks. I need cover for Game Week 30. Game Week this week, and also Game Week 32. I'm thinking Leno or Fabianski, although I realise his eye may cause problems. Preference or another? Yes, Neto. Ralph 3 says, hi James, 2 free transfers. Which would you prioritise? Iheanacho to Isak, Odegaard to Fernandes, Gabriel to Shaw, or both? Both of the last two. It's essentially near enough what I've done, mate. Tony McBride, morning James. I've gone Zinchenko to share as I'm playing through 32. Bench boost active. Good luck, everyone. And to you too, Tony. Eric Onstad says, hi James. Hope you get a different Spurs post sacking. Is Salah a sneaky captain? Yeah, sure. You know Mo Salah's capability, and he'll find space a little bit easier, particularly today, actually. He scored in all 3 of his games against Manchester City this season. So certainly possible. Just checking messages, guys. Like I said, see if there's anything potentially on City Liverpool. Please be aware of pranksters over the next half hour or so. And to be honest, unless you've got Erling Haaland, I'd probably be getting your team locked in now. It's likely to be busy close to deadline, right? FPL Finding Glory. Like the stream. Yes. What percentage of likers have we got now? There's loads in today. That's better. About 30% of you or so. The other 70%, smash a thumb like, please. Static says, hi James, hope you and the family are well. I feel pretty calm about rolling a transfer this game week, but I see people taking -12s. Am I being too passive? I have 9 double game week players, Saka and Kane. No Shaw or Bruno though. It's okay, mate. You know what I'm going to say, right? Play it your way. Big Geek says, morning James, thoughts on Colwill as a Sky option. When he plays, he's getting the passing numbers, so might be another cheaper dunk if he gets the minutes. He's 6.7 Levi Colwill. Great price. I'd rather look at Solly Marsh at 6.9 at the moment in Sky. But yeah, reasonable. I would expect him to remain first choice. There's obviously a little bit of doubt on that because Adam Webster is a good player as well. John Bailey says, already done Odegaard and Zinchenko to Sean Fernandez. Would you do Mbumo to Ings for another -4? I'm on bench boost and free hit 32. No. Michael Crawford says, is it crazy to remove Rashford on a -12? I like that. It's different. Rashford to Bruno. Saka to Bowen. Martinelli to McAllister and injured Cash to Mengs. Right. The other moves you can do without moving Rashford to Bruno Fernandes, right? It's got to be a firm no from me, Michael. I'm captaining, right? If you're concerned about the flag, I can only say my opinion is don't be. Matthew Shaw says, I have João Felix. I'm told it is Felix, but I'm going to keep saying Felix at the moment. Want to move eventually. Do I go -4 this week or wait until the fixtures get better for Newcastle in 31? Cheers, mate. Have a good one. Yeah, 2 home games, I'd leave it. Ben M says, morning from Istanbul. I was intending to go there in June, but then Antonio Conte decided to defend the 1-0 aggregate loss in the Champions League. It says, don't forget to smash a like. Cheers for all as always. Thank you, Ben. Much appreciated. FPL Finding Glory says, gosh, I meant Neto, not Leno or Fabianski, although maybe Leno mistype is a sign. Haha. Good job I said Neto then, isn't it? Chris Wood says, non-FPL related question. What's the funniest chant you've ever heard at a Spurs match? Couldn't repeat it. Florentine P says, got Haaland from game week 1. I'm on wildcard. Should I keep him? Planning bench boost on game week 34. I'm going to say yes, bench him. Lucas Nielsen says, would you do Gabriel Saka and Odegaard to McAllister, Fernandez and Shaw for a -8? Yes. Paul H says, hi Jimmy. Hello mate. Swizz says, morning James. I have to bench one of Kane or Virgil van Dijk. What are your thoughts? Oh. Yikes. Bench Van Dijk. It's close, that. Josh says, hi James, if you could keep Saka over Martinelli this week for a hit down the line, would you do it? Can sell Martinelli for Bruno and get 0.9 by downgrading my second goalie post bench boost to afford Haaland. Hang on. You don't need to take the hit if you keep Martinelli rather than Saka. I'd keep Martinelli. Multi Laville says Haaland out. Thanks for sharing something we've covered. Ketan Chopra says good morning James. It's not official, by the way. That's the word. Ketan Chopra, just for those who joined in late. Ketan Chopra says good morning James. Fofana and Saka to Shaw and Maddison, or Zuma and Maddison. Not planning, not free hitting in 32. That makes Zuma more attractive, therefore. So yes, probably that, and then come back for sure. Dion van Nieuwkerk says, trade who, Zinchenko or me for sure. I'm going to say Zinchenko, mate. Jerry Dharma Yu says, hi James, thoughts on Ward, Gabriel, Odegaard to Navas, Zuma, Fernandez for -8. I'm not getting sure for now since United's defence looks volatile without Casemiro. Good luck this game week, mate. Yep, take it, smash it in, mate. Paul H says, would you take out White for Zuma for a hit? West Ham defender for a hit. I would, yeah. But I'm not sure that you should. Let me say that. Dave M says, morning James, Saka to Maddison or Zinchenko to Estupinan for a -4. Free hit 32. Thanks, pal. I'm going to say Estupinan. But the answer I want to give Dave is both. Dragon says, are Spurs expect to play a more offensive style now that Conte is gone? Is back four likely this weekend? Probably not. I think my predicted lineup would be similar system. Hugo Lloris might play in goal. He has been training. It's probably Perisic and Porro as wing backs. Kulusevski in for Richarlison. Longley left-sided centre-back. Otherwise, what you'd expect. Similar system. That's my inkling, but I don't factually have any ITK on that. The answer is I think it'll be similar, Dragon. Bertica says, hey James, don't feel good about a bench boost with 2 Brentford defenders, 1 in my starting 11, 1 on the bench, but already taking a -4, worth another -4 to lose one of the Brentford defenders. No. If the clean sheet happens, potential haul. If. Bertica says, hey James, don't feel good about that's what I've done. Lucas Nielsen says, would you do Gabriel, Saka and Odegaard to McAllister, Fernandes, Shaw -8? You already know the answer, Lucas. It's a yes, mate. Shani Russell says, hello, Big James. Firstly, and most importantly, how's Harry doing? Doing great. I covered it at the start. Thank you, mate. One question, mate. On a -8 already and bench boost, 770k overall, so getting desperate. Saka and or Kane out for March and Ongs. I presume it's meant to be Ings for a -8. Yeah, do it. Tom Lassett says, would you do Gabriel to Zuma for -4 and bench boost? We've already got triple United and don't want double United defence. Same principle as what I just said for the Zinchenko question to Tom. Good luck. Lucas, mate, we don't need to do repeat questions here. I either get to your question or I don't. And repeating the question just delays other people's. You're just pissing other people off. Shahid Hussein says, hi James. I wildcard last week with the intention of bench boosting 29, but looking at it now, all the popular attackers are playing all the popular defenders, goalkeepers, so you can't win both ways. Do I delay bench boost until 34? You can win both ways, mate, because I've got 2 fixtures. It's not ideal, but you can win that way. If you committed to doing it this week, unless you've got injury problems, I think you should still do it. I can't see your team, right? And I don't want you to put your whole team in the chat. So the right advice, I think, would be proceed, do it. Now, my homie says, hi James, what do you think of Barnes? I'm tempted to bring him for Martinelli. Keep up the content, play it away as always. Yeah, he's not been mentioned much this week. I don't mind it. I mean, I'd much rather have Maddison, to be totally honest. But yeah, I really don't mind Harvey Barnes as a great differential option. Stuart Robinson says, morning James, happy Saturday. Quick question, would you do Tony to Isak for free? Good question. Probably yes. Yeah, if I had that luxury, yeah, probably yes. I'm trying to divert my thinking and say I've not got that luxury. Would I do it for free? Yeah, possibly. But I probably would only Nacho to Isak. So if that's your dilemma, probably yes, actually. Yeah. Andrew Grondin says, hi James, worth a -4 to sort out Danny Ward and Saliba for a bench boost this week, or roll and save the bench with 34. I still have my wildcard to set up for option B. Okay. That's a little different to the previous one. But I think, yes, worth the -4. If Danny Ward doesn't play this week, you've got the -4 back literally on appearance points, haven't you? So I'm going to say yes. Cosmos says, in fact, you well beat it with appearance points. Cosmos says, hi James, do I take a -8 to do Odegaard to Bruno? The caveats are, 1, I really like Odegaard. That's why I did Saka March. 2, my only route to Haaland in game week 30 would be Kane. That's okay, because Brighton will probably come demolish Tottenham next week, mate. I'm going to say yes again, mate. Robin Olsen, Gabriel to Estupinan or Veltman for a -4. Definitely Estupinan, mate. Chris Goddard, which player scores the most points this week for each position? Goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, forward. Luke Steele, but I'm careful. I'm not advising people necessarily to buy him. I think it's dangerous. Luke Steele. Defender, probably Stupinan or Dunk. Midfielder Rashford. Forwards Havertz. Good question. Jokey Molson says, morning James, greedy Tony to Isak from -8. That's a no. The other one was for free. This one, no. Obviously, if I was in that situation, I could have done that. I've chosen not to. Mohammed Abel Wadod says, hi James, is it worth a -4? Odegaard, Henry, Zinchenko, De Bruno, Chilwell? Sure, yeah. Maestri 18 says, hey James, love your content. I'm bench boosting Javi Iheanacho. Thinking of a -4 for Solanke. Got no free hits. I need the striker to play 32. What do you think? I'd hold for the moment, mate. I think the information, yeah. Iheanacho could play 90 less minutes than Solanke and outscore him this week. Solanke hasn't scored since game week 15, I think. Not that he's played every game over that period. But no, I'm going to leave it be, mate. I'm leaving it be, so I have to advise the same. Alistair Hargreaves says, is it worth a -4 given for Bruno, given it blocks my route to Haaland? I I have to assume that's obviously based on future question, as in future game week further down the line. And I don't think you do want to block yourself. I'm going to say no, but with the caveat, Alistair, of saying, like, what's your plan for Bruno Fernandes for future game weeks in any case? Can something else open up Haaland for you, like a Sam Greenwood, right? I don't know what your strategy is. But my instinct is, if you're absolutely certain you don't want to be blocked off Haaland, I will say no. Jack Tasker says, you think Iheanacho starts today? No. Lucas Nielsen says, would you do Gabriel, Saka, Odegaard? Lucas, I've had enough for you, mate, but I wish you the very best of luck with your future endeavours. Adam says, start Mbumo or Gabriel. Mbumo, mate. Sheila J. Raj says, worth doing Zinchenko to Zuma -4. I've had this one similar previously. I'm going to say that I would do it. Let me say that. Thomas says, -12 for a bench boost. McAllister, Steele, Isak and Castagne. In for Nonso, Ward, Odegaard and Tarkovsky. Have wild card in hand, so could do bench boost in 34. So what are you selling here? Nonso, Ward, Tarkovsky are all a bit shit for you this week. I'm going to say no and hold it. Actually, yeah. I'm going to say no. And because you've got the wild card, you can set up quite nicely for 34. You will find you'll have single game week players, but you can set up good ones. I'm going to say hold it back. Pete Haley says, hi James, best replacement for Haaland, already have Tony and Kane. How long do you need it for? Replacement for Haaland is 1 week, isn't it? Possibly. Havertz, therefore, mate. LH, no question this weekend, mate. Made my bed on McAllister 10, captain, or Mac 10 as people are calling him. All the best. Hope it's green. And remember, smash that like button, guys. Thank you very much. Yeah, how many are we on likes now, guys? Is it 50% or so? We're getting there. About 40% or so, guys. This means about 60% of you can't press a fun button. Like, if you're here and you're enjoying it, press the fun button. If you're not, there's loads of other Deadline streams you can watch, guys. Chris, the Woodstock 1 says, good morning, James. I've gone for Isak as captain this week. Bench boost 27, got me 25 points and no game week 29 headache. Hope the boys well and have a great weekend. I can tell you, I retweeted the tweet this morning. Sire FPL Bibbs, our Newcastle correspondent, is captain in Isak. He said he's doing it for feels, though. Jovan Kanija says, hi James. Hello, Jovan. Ben M says, have Zinchenko, Martinelli and Henry on bench. Worth playing any over Haaland, Kane or Saka? No. Craig G says, smash that like, folks. Thank you, Craig. Adam Lewis says, morning, James. No questions for me. Just my appreciation. Currently top 13k, so doing well for me. Nice, mate. Unfortunately, used my bench boost earlier in the season, so hopefully it's damage limitation today. Good luck, Adam. Jovan says, hi, legend. Bench 1. Kane, Iheanacho or Odegaard. Good luck. Iheanacho. Yeah, that's dirty. It's so horrible, but I think that's probably the right answer. If he plays twice, I'm sorry, but as I answered previously, someone said, do I think he starts today? No, therefore I think Odegaard, Kane singles, are, you'd fancy them, wouldn't you? CH Ghost says, what do you think of Raya to Navas, and do you think Brennan Johnson will play? Yes, I think Brennan Johnson will play, because I think Cooper's a passive liar. Raya to Navas, no. Harry White says, Henry or Estupinan to start. Estupinan. Rahul says, Everson or Ward, who is likely to start? I think Everson today, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Ward on Tuesday. Kai W says, I'm transferring Odegaard, Henry, Gabriel and Ward to Bruno, Shaw, Chilwell and Kepa. Does that look good? Any tips? I forgot halfway through, mate, but yeah. Andrew Jarvis says, morning, James. Just wanted to pop in and tell people to join Patreon, as the Slack community is second to none. Has really helped me this week with some decisions. Good luck for the game week. Thank you, Andrew. It is April the 1st. No joke, guys. Best time to support us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/planetfpl if you want to support the show. Might speak about that a little bit more at Deadline. FPL Popo says, 550 watching, but 59 likes. No, come on, people, do the right thing. Now I know I'm very behind on the chat. If you haven't submitted a question yet, there's a good chance I'm not going to get to you guys. Sorry. Matthew Hall says, -4 for Brighton defender, in for Brentford defender, free hit 32. I've decided no. I could have done that, and at the moment I've decided no. CH Ghost says, I'm looking to move Johnson for Watkins. I just don't know if he'll play twice. You probably heard what I said a minute ago. But Watkins, worth saying as well, Forest at home next week. I'd consider that. Frederick Hertz says, hello James, subbing and Boomo out for Isak, keeping my Arsenal assets. Good luck with your bench boost, and to you too, but I'm not repeating the 4-letter bit you said in the middle. Excuse me. Sweet Blues says, do you think anyone other than Rashford will be over 100% EO this week? Top 100k? Probably not. If there was to be one, I think Mitoma. Referee Rick says Shoring for Zinchenko or Henry Zinchenko. Notorious Nerd, keep Kane or do a hit to get Isak. I've covered it's probably no on a hit. GP says start Ben White and Boomo. No bench boost for me. And Boomo. Michael H says, hi James, thinking about doing Buendia to McAllister and Martinelli to Maddison from -4. Have a good weekend. I'm going to guess you need to do the Buendia to McAllister to fund it. Just consider Buendia Forest at home next week as well. Leicester away in midweek. Is it bad? I was very interested in getting him a couple of weeks ago. Less so now, admittedly. I'm just not keen on selling Buendia. But otherwise, yeah, sure. CH Ghost is rare to Navish Johnson to Watkins. It's probably a no from me, mate. Goran Popovic, Haaland definitely out. Question, I cannot guarantee that for you, mate. Patrons, anything in concrete, tag me on Slack, please, if we've got anything. Not at the moment, but as repeated right at the start of the stream, Focal had a source that he trusted last night and tweeted that Haaland wasn't going to be risked. We have to assume that info is correct. I've got no doubt that Oscar's intentions in tweeting that is absolutely legitimate. It doesn't mean that the situation can't change, but I would be presuming at this stage that Haaland won't start. If you're asking for definitely, I can't tell you that. Zoe Issard says, hey James, glad Harry is doing well. Henry out for Zuma worth of -4. Already wants to do Tony out for Havertz on my free transfer. I'm going to say no, Zoe. PS says, hi James, rare to steal for another -4. Good for budget down the line. Thanks, mate. If that's a question, I can't see one, but if it is, I'm going to say no. Raya, remember, is the highest scoring goalkeeper in the game. Naf Cousin says, no bench boost, 14 doublers. Should I play Saka? It depends who the doublers are, mate. How do I answer that? Abraham says, on a bench boost, but who should I captain if I want to try gain rank or just go with Rashford? Listen, if you're on bench boost, you're probably gaining rank this week. You would hope. There's no guarantee it will because so many people are on it, but look, I'm captain Rashford and I want to gain rank and I'm still doing that. I mean, there'll be other opportunities. Mark Williamson says, hi James, thoughts on a rogue West Ham Sky Fantasy captain tomorrow? Thinking of getting Bowen or Zings. Cheers. Ben Rama. Probably a bit better budget-wise as well. Andy Styles says, morning sir, tempted to play Bailey over Saka. Should I see a shrink? No, you shouldn't see a shrink, but I wouldn't do it. I don't have Leon Bailey in my predicted Villa lineup today, so that may help you. Kamara's back fit, and I think Chelsea away he'll play, and I think Bailey might be the one who misses out. Sebwa says, hi James, would you do Rico Henry to Kurt Zuma for a hit? Also, Marcus Tavernier could be ultra differential pick this week. He could. I think Tavernier will probably go straight into that Bournemouth team, probably at the expense of Jadon Anthony. Henry to Zuma here, it's a no for me though. Nigel Sam, hi James, who you think is the best as a bench player? Bench boost from Solanke, Ferguson, Ings. Ings is the best of those three for this week, I think. NG7 Iceman, sell Saka to Maddison or Bowen for -8. Maddison. Placebox says, hi James, what do you reckon the average hits will be this week? Some high numbers being handed about. Love double game week fever. On average, probably -5 to 6 roughly. Aninda Das says, hi James, should I sell Saka for Salah or Kane for Darwin? Either way, the player who stays will be on the bench. God. Jeez. I'd start Saka over Kane. Can I say that? And just bottle the question? I'd go Salah. Onion Heart 1 says, morning, Tony to Ings, Bailey to March and Forster to Kepa for -8. Sounds good. Alfredo, Ings, Danny Ings. We'll keep this on going, mate. FPL Eze says, does the fact he's been at home during the international break mean that March is the best Brighton option? Covered that at the start, mate. That's literally the only reason I'm saying yes. Chris Davison says, Saka captain this weekend. Everyone is massively overlooking single game week players. Madness. Good luck, Chris. Toby Evanson says, hi James, I was going to swap my premium from Kane to Salah in Gameweek 31. Should I just do it now for the double? I like Kane versus Everton. Great content as always. Hit the like, people. Thank you, Toby. Yeah, I'll do it now. Suresh says, James, thoughts on Salah captaincy? Yeah, I don't hate it, mate. As said earlier, the space should be better for him this week. It's about 9 minutes to deadline, guys. By the way, get yourself locked in. Patrons, again, if there's anything, tag me on Slack, please, on City Liverpool news. Suresh says, James, thoughts on Salah captaincy? I've just done that. Steph says, why isn't Matoma the best option? I've covered that. If you think he is, it's absolutely fine. Stu M says, got one free. I'm vice captain Matoma. Stu M says, got one free, and the plan was Tony to Isak, but now I'm thinking -4 as well to lose Haaland for Havertz, or should I just keep Tony and do Haaland to Isak? Yeah, Haaland to Isak, yeah. Hassem Allah says, is Saka to Maddison worth a hit? Already got Bruno and sold Kane for a hit. I'm going to say yes, but just. DTW, what other keeper should I get already? Got Raya. De Gea. What's your budget, mate? FPL Big Licks, literally just sign up to your Patreon. Yes, mate. Hope all is well. Do you think your Spurs will get Sean Dyche this weekend? Yes, probably, mate. Although it's up for debate whether you class Monday night as the weekend. Notorious Nerds, predictions on screen, guys, by the way. It's an Everton victory is what I'm predicting. You're so negative about Spurs. Yeah, we'll have to sit and watch them every week. Notorious Nerd says, would you take -4 for Martinelli to Maddison or third Brighton mid? I prefer the Brighton mid, but again, I'm very conscious about having those 3 Brighton mids. So I'm going to say Maddison. Tom says, is Fabianski back in? Don't know, but we do know that certainly he has trained this week. That's absolutely confirmed. So the rest is up to David Moyes, isn't it? Steph says, you don't need to put shit in capitals, mate. It really annoys me. I just end up muting people. If Rashford doesn't play tomorrow, does vice captain get the captaincy? No, mate. He'll play on Wednesday, won't he? Sweet Blues, no Steph. No, tag if you're responding, please, Sweet Blues. Thank you, mate. And Tom. Steph. Yeah, right, mate. Stu M says, thanks, James. Smash that like, people. Cheers, mate. Durgish says, Saka or Odegaard to Bruno. I think it's Odegaard at this stage, isn't it? Tony to Haaland is not possible in upcoming game weeks if I sell Odegaard. Suggestions, please. That may change things for you. Okay, sell Saka. Z Max R7 says, I'm thinking about taking an extra -4 to get Reece James in for Henry. Would mean benching Saka in 30 and it wouldn't affect future transfers. Wouldn't do that. Certainly wouldn't guarantee Reece James will play twice this game week. There's a lot of Chelsea intel think he won't start today, by the way. But the 3-day turnaround, they're being so careful with him. I would personally, yeah, the upside's great if he does, but I actually got Reece James starting centre back in my predicted Chelsea lineup today, so it's a no from me. Gareth James says, good luck for the double, mate. As a Bluebird, I'm dreading the South Wales derby today, so FPL is a nice distraction. Good luck to you and any Swans viewers we've got in. Chipman76 says, Haaland or Tony to Isak, or Haaland as it stands. Last Minute Fantasy podcast says, is Shaw and Everson for White and Ward worth -8 for bench boost? As said previously, I'm really not keen on getting Everson, guys. He's played one game. Really not keen on him. I'm going to have to say no. Vladimir Daka says, hi James, Kilman to Zuma for a -4 on a bench boost. Kilman to Zuma? Yes. Carl Wells, porridge oats in a sock in the bath is a great remedy for the pox. Hope the lad's coping well. All the best this weekend. Thank you, Carl. He's doing good. We haven't tried that. Ollie Harris says, hi James, thoughts on a -4 for Somerville in Ford de Silva. Cheers. I see what's happening there. You're very short on budget. I don't hate that. I do have some of them on my predicted Leeds lineup today, but obviously it's Tuesday that's more important. Yeah, I don't mind that, actually. Ahmed Hassan, I like that because it's fucking different. Ahmed Hassan says, is Saka to March worth it? Got Mito in. I mean, I presume that's not Mitro. That's meant to be Mitoma already. Yes. Rohan says, everyone ropping Arsenal assets. I presume that's meant to be dropping. Do you realise Leeds will be without Vobra and Adams? Arsenal could easily score 4 or 5 goals. Yeah, of course they could. Have you considered Leeds might play a back 5 today? I think they might. Relic Returns says, have you taken a hit, James? Yes, -4. Shaw and Fernandez in. Covered that at the start. Rohan says, I'm a Leeds fan. Our defence is horrible without Vobra and Adams. I don't doubt that, mate. You might have a different system today. Rohan also says, James, kept up the great work. Thank you, mate. Good luck today. I obviously hope Leeds do well. Prashan says, Henry, for many reasons. Prashan, primarily the fucking title race. Prashan says, Henry to Shaw from -4. No. Rory McGregor, Kane to Isak -4 if it enables Tony to Haaland for next week. Yes. Mr. Dyer says, what do you think about Gabriel to Shaw, James Tarkovsky to Lewis Tongue? It's meant to be Lewis Dunk and Danny Ward to steal from -8. I am doing the A3. I'm in Quebec 32 and wildcard. Sorry, mate. Mr. Tired is what's going on here, mate? Love you loads. Good luck, but I can't answer your question. Good luck. Giannis Soft One says, good morning, James. Currently have 3 Newcastle defenders and 3 Chelsea defenders. Would you do Burns to Dunk for a -4? No. Shobit says, should I go Martinelli to Madison and hence play all 11 double game weeks or just play Saka 10 double game week players? That's personal preference, isn't it? You're asking the guy who's definitely going to say the doubler, mate. Addy Tor says, hi James, would you do Mbumo to Watkins for free? Yes, primarily because of the Leicester Forest fixtures. Forest next week for Villa at Villa Park. Sober A says, would you go Salah over Fernandes if you're still playing to free hit 32? I don't really trust, even if it can block out Haaland for a free. No, I've gone Fernandes, mate. So Shobit says, I'm not bench boosting, by the way. I can't remember your question, mate. FPL MOT says, Haaland to Darwin and free hit in 34, so Darwin could play Forest in 32 for me. It's free potential. Is there potential that Haaland is rested to be fit for Champions League and misses Southampton, lose Leicester games anyway? Certainly won't miss both, mate. It's going to be a nightmare for whichever the other one is if he did only play one. But yeah, I'd be very tempted to do that. Oliver Ashraf says, what transfers to make if no free hit 32? Yeah, just pluck shit out of the air and say, buy Rashford. Adrian 4500 says, Botman or Henry? Or Boatman even. Better for this week, probably Boatman. Matthew McCaffrey says, will Areola play? I don't know. It's going to be up to David Moyes, but it seems like most West Ham people are saying probably. Thank you, Rob Pick. Team News and Ticks has confirmed Erling Haaland doesn't start. It doesn't mean he's not a substitute. He doesn't start. Thank you very much for that, Rob. I forgot the fucking question now. It's up to David Moyes who starts, right? Most West Ham people I'm here and not seeing on the timeline seem to think Fabianski will probably play. Jeff says, hey James, just found your channel, great stuff. Defensive advice, Gabriel, Henry, Botman, or transfer one out for a Stupinan for a -4. Gabriel to a Stupinan. Ash D says, Henry or Zinchenko to Shaw. Zinchenko. Chris Goff says, hi James, Henry and Zinchenko out for Castagna and Shaw for -8. Gives 14 doublers and Kane. Cheers. Wouldn't do Henry to Castagna, would do Zinchenko to Shaw. Vanessa says, marching for Saka for a hit. Yes. Reeves says, captaincy's on the screen, mate. Open your eyes, please. Carl Geffin says, just join the stream. Is Haaland confirmed out? Confirmed he's not starting. Carl Geffin says, done that. Bossos says, hi James, free hit in 34. And have Saka, Zinchenko and Kane. Keep all 3 or start my moves by doing Darwin for Kane. I'm going to say yes, do it. Dave Lister says, thanks for the stream, mate. Hope Spurs win at Everton. You and me both, mate. Owen Jones says, I'm on Madison captain. Just woke up with a hangover. He's my boy Fit James. P.S. Going to South Wales Derby today. Up the mighty Bluebirds. Good luck to you, mate. As far as we know, Madison's fine. Dally Paul says, would you play double game week players? Jensen, Felix, Bailey over single game week players? Odegaard, Zinchenko, Martinelli. Felix, yes, not the other 2. TW says, would you be interested in an ultimate chip? Like, no. Oliver Ashraf says, what transfers to make if free hit 32? Mate, Oliver, come on, give me something, mate. John Cahill says, morning, James. On this lovely spring day, if you were forced to pick one of Castagna, Ricardo, Pereira, who would you go for? Castagna, mate. Carl Smith, captain decisions. On the screen, mate. Ropefly135 says, hi, best Sanchez replacement. Pope still rare. Bench boost active, and it's a -4. Oh, Pope. Bozos says, I have free at 34, keeping Saka and Zinchenko. Put Darwin in for Kane to start my future plans. Thumbs up, Mark Jones. Haaland not starting. Leaked lineups. Thank you, Mark. Harun Mohammed. Henry to Chilwell and Salah to Bruno Fernandes for a -4. Wouldn't bother selling Henry. Yes, I would. Chilwell, the upside. Yes. Matthew Hogburn says, hello, James. Hope you and the family are well. Sky question. Who to move Saliba to? Has to be a defender. Already have Dunk and Zinchenko. Cheers. Consider Levi Colwill as mentioned earlier. Kevin Adams Holmes says Haaland not starting. Richard Saunders Irving. Eek last minute Haaland to Isak. Andy Ken says deadline. Cheers. Oh, that sorted that then, didn't it? Deadline is here, guys. Hope you're all locked in. That's it. If you came for the FPL stuff, smash a like, hit the sub button. I've only got about 10 minutes spare, guys. If you've got any non-FPL questions, throw them in the chat. I'm not going to be able to cover, if there's loads, I'm going to have to just pick them all, so get them in quick. If you've got any non-FPL questions, I've got 10 minutes, 15 minutes max, because the wife has an appointment about her car that I need to let her get on with. Patreon, if you want to support the show, if you think I talk too fast, tough. www.patreon.com/planetfpl if you want to support the show. It's April the 1st, no joke, there's no better time to do it. We'll have over 20 podcasts from intermediate tier. If you want to join the community, which is a much better version of Twitter, you can do that from basic tier. You get access to Slack and also my planning spreadsheets for FPL, Sky, Gaffer, UCL Fantasy. It's all in there on the planner. You can access that on Slack if you join at basic tier. Podcasts available from intermediate tier, and there's additional content for advanced tier patrons in video format, such as chip talk videos, unanswered Qs, Twitter stories. That's the point. I could do a Twitter stories this week. It's awkward for me this week because Nico's on holiday for a little bit, so I'm trying to make my life as easy as possible. But if you want to support the show, www.patreon.com/planetfpl. I'm not going to make anybody a better FPL manager. Do it because you want to support myself and Suj and Nico and the Planet FPL team. There's one more, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say about him yet. Content this week, not all fully confirmed, but I can tell you Monday, Benny Blanco, co-founder of Gameweek29, is joining me for the weekend review of Gameweek29. Tuesday is probably going to be a people's poll. It's not 100% confirmed yet, so apologies if this doesn't happen, but I'm hoping to do something with FPL Harry for that would be FPL related on Tuesday, but I just need to confirm the details with him. Wednesday will be Sky Fantasy Football. I'm still looking for a guest for that Sky podcast on Wednesday, by the way, guys. So if you want a guest on the Sky pod, hit me up in my DMs. Be appreciated. Otherwise, I might be doing it solo. Thursday, second part of the Game Week review for Game Week 29. The game's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with the king of YouTube, Andy Mears. Let's talk FPL. And Friday will probably be an Ask James dream. No, it's not. It's Clash of the Correspondents. It's Fulham versus West Ham with Dara Curran and Chris Stone. Patreon content this week will be in some form or another Q&A Monday. David Hunter's joining me for that. Tuesday will be UCL Fantasy. I'm looking for a guest for that podcast as well. Wednesday will be, instead of Tottenham this week, it's Tottenham. Clayton Fernandez, one of our patrons, joining me on that show. Thursday will be a quiz, which James Johnson is hosting for me, another one of our patrons. And Friday's differential show, Game Week 30 preview, Rob Pick is joining me. Suj is due back the following week from either Monday the 10th or Tuesday 11th. Again, if you want to support the show, www.patreon.com/planetfpl. Right, let's do some non-FPL. If you've not submitted a question, guys, I'm not going to get to it, judging by the responses that are in here already. So I'm gonna say now that I'm gonna cut this off Atul's question about glad to hear Harry. I'm not gonna cover anything after that. Atul, I will try and get to your question. FPL Top Bin says good luck to Torquay United today. Big 6-pointer. Good luck, mate. Ian PTSD says seen any good April Fools today? No, you never see anything good, do you? Really, to be totally honest. Andy Swaysland says legend, great work. Thank you, Andy. Rose Mendes says thoughts on Sunderland promotion. Michael Carrick as Tottenham manager now. Possibly a little early. Michael Carrick, this whole period with Middlesbrough could be a little bit of a bounce still. That he's doing incredibly well. I'd have to say I've not seen enough of Middlesbrough to be able to tell you enough about him stylistically. So it would be a no from me at the moment. Plus, when he went from Tottenham to Manchester United, he really did want to go back up north. So I think all his family's up there and stuff. I'm not sure he'd want to come back for a long-term project in London. And we overlook these things. Sunderland promotion, a decent result at Turf Moor last night. Probably a no. FPL Najib, it seems Saka is benched, said Andy. Let's talk FPL. Wow. Really? That would be quite something, wouldn't it? Odran Brennan says, how are you, James? How was your week? All right, that difficult, but Harry's been an absolute trooper about things. He's doing well. I very much appreciate. Yeah, we're absolutely fine, mate. Thank you. Dave Lister says, best Oasis track, Wonderwall or Don't Look Back in Anger. But don't look back in anger. Yeah, probably Don't Look Back in Anger. Addy Tour says, no question, sign up for Patreon, everyone, you know it makes sense. Thank you, Addy. You're one super Planet FPL supporter, and it's appreciated, mate. TW says, question was meant for after the deadline. Would you be interested in an ultimate chip, like a free hit, but no price cap, no max free players per team and all 50? I spoke about it's a limitless chip, but you have an UCL fancy, but you are still restricted about the number of players per team, which I think it would be right. I've mentioned it's a decent idea. You should probably again have a look at FPL Focal's timeline and see what he tweeted last night about FPL next season. Seems like there might be some changes coming. Jonathan says, what do you think of the 12:30 kickoffs? Think they should bin it? The energy from the crowd and players always seems dead. Not always, depends what the fixture is, but yeah, it's not ideal. I think we'd rather have City Liverpool today at 5:30 rather than 12:30. But it's what BT Sport have got, right? So depends on the fixture and who's in it. There have been some very good 12:30s down the years. So, but yes, I'm not a huge fan of it. Boza says, thanks James, you and Sid are amazing. We're looking joining Patreon. I'm in Colombia, South America. I'll be amazing. We haven't got that many South American patrons actually, so let us know, mate. Ian Parent says, Sky captains this week, James. Saka, Rashford, Kane, Duncan, Rashford seems to be the consensus I'm seeing. Yes, exactly that, mate. I'm likely to buy Solly March today now, with that Haaland news, which I explained on Wednesday's podcast. But I don't know if Andy's properly put the skids on Saka today, if he's out. So, yeah, I could even get March in and captain him. I don't think I would today. I may even captain Dunk today, you know, Ian, if that's true. I want to say I think I've still got Odegaard again still. I need to check. I might go Odegaard instead. Mark Jones says, but do you know what? That could be an April Fool's from Andy, just thinking about it. Mark Jones says, all right, James, hang the toilet roll with the sheet at the back or front. Good question. Back. Why is there no scientific way for which way it is? FPL Starton says, surely a man in the chat can do the Sky Pod with you, Mr. Ian Parrott. Ian has offered, but it's not going to work out, unfortunately, because I need the guest on Wednesday morning because his game is Tuesday night, and Ian's got work Wednesday morning. He has offered. Lin Tian Bell says, can't wait for Andy to come on the pod next week, James. Fun fact, I actually started listening to your content after you appeared on his channel 2 years ago. Never stopped listening since. Tell Andy to invite me on again. I'm probably going to owe him one, aren't I? It's brilliant. I love Andy. He's such a good bloke. Atul Balaji says, glad to hear Harry's doing better. Random question, feels inevitable. Neves is going to leave us this year. I say this every year, though. Which team do you think he will play for next year? Liverpool. There you go. There's the answer. For those who've answered afterwards, sorry, I did say I'd cut it at Atul's question, but thank you to Richard Saunders Irving, FPL Spartans. Tom is also saying Saka on the bench, and maybe this is true. TW says, how was Legoland? It was all right, but we had a really good day. But I didn't think it was better than say Gulliver's World, to be honest. Miles Thompson, go on, one more. Hypothetically, if you could have two teams from League One and League Two in the Prem next year, who would you go for and why? From a Bradford supporting patron, Bradford, obviously, and Sheffield Wednesday. There you go. We'll leave it there. Sheffield Wednesday are in League One, aren't they? Or Ipswich, because I know we've got a number of Ipswich patrons at Ipswich as well. I've got Bolton patrons, but I've not been to Hillsborough. I really want to go to Hillsborough. I haven't been to Valley Parade either. So yeah, Wednesday and Bradford, sure, why not? Thanks so much, guys, for all the support. Smash the like if you're in the stream. Hit the sub button. Have a great weekend. Remember, the game week lasts 5 days. So if you have a bad day, it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to have a bad week. After the Arsenal game, there is going to be a lot of hindsight people. I told you to keep the Arsenal players, or I told you to sell the Arsenal players. Whatever you've done, you've made your decision for a reason, and I wish you the very best of luck with it. Unless, of course, you kept your Arsenal players, in which case, sorry, I hope that they do badly. Just because I want Arsenal to do badly, I suspect that they will do well. Have a great week. Benny Blanco, be back with me for the main podcast on Monday, guys. I'm not sure if I can end the stream. It seems to be blocked at the moment, which could be interesting, but I'm going to try. Love you all, guys. Thanks very much. Ciao for now. Oh, I can.